All right, so
All right, so-
comedy hour's over, I guess.
All
Sorry,
right,
I'll
so
have to
we're
get
back at
serious here.
RoofCon.
Back at RoofCon.
Back at RoofCon here with Connor. Dude, thank you so much for hanging out, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
And
Yeah.
Congratulations to you and the team.
Thanks.
Phenomenal job
Thanks.
this week. I mean, to see the growth over, I'm not saying last year was bad. Last year was great. This
Yeah.
year is just like another level.
Yeah.
And the professionalism, everything you guys are doing, the way the
man.
team has come together this year has been amazing.
Yeah.
You guys have put on a great event, and I really have to congratulate you guys.
Appreciate that.
Hats off to that, and I think everyone that's in this room feels that way. So congratulations, bro.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, our team, man, is just so stellar. And I'm glad we're doing this because I get to recognize them a lot more than what they deserve all the credit. You know what I mean? And I know that it's easy for Hunter be in the spotlight, myself be in the spotlight. I'm not obviously as well known as Hunter is in this space, but I'm starting to kind of build some reputation with guys like you and some others. They're like, all right, this guy kind of knows a little bit what he's talking about. But really, at the end of the day, it's not me, man. And that's the thing, that I'm not just saying that from a place of like selfless leadership, like saying the right things. It's the truth. I really do. I'm so appreciative of the team that's involved behind the scenes.
Let's
You know
talk
what I
about this
mean?
for a
So,
minute, and
yep.
we'll talk about RoofCon again. But
Yep.
you, Connor, you're new to the not the industry, but you're new to roofing.com and to
Yep.
the organization.
Yep.
What's the story there, man? Welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much back and forth we've been able to do on a camera. We've gotten to hang out quite a
Yeah,
bit.
oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
as
Yeah.
far as like I always appreciate hanging out with you because I feel like you have such a great mind. But I'd love
Sure.
to share the story here.
Yeah, so I mean, and I'll start, I guess, from the inception of RoofCon so you kind of understand the correlation. 2019, November 2019 was RC1, RoofCon 1, and I know you were there, and and I mean, you could
It's a
probably
little different
it's
than this.
a little
bro.
different than this.
It was
right?
a
So,
hotel. It was the Gaylord Opry Inn.
yeah,
So
yeah.
not the Opryland.
No,
it's the
no,
Opry
yeah,
Inn.
Yeah. And Hunter tells that story so funny. It's like Hunter's perfect moment is like he's so not detail oriented that he booked the wrong place, right? Like, how do you do that? So anyway, yeah, 2019 was one of those years that was just like, it was just casting that vision, man. And so we call it the year of the vision. And there was only 60 people there. And then 2020 rolls around, and my story then kind of comes into play there. And Diego, Michaela, I'll just name drop them real quick. Rock stars on the team. They were the only people that were working for Roof at the time, just RoofCon before Roofing.com. Now, they were the only team. They were the only guys, people that were on salary and working for that organization full time. So I came to the scenes kind of, hey, let's take this to the next level in terms of the operational side of things, and really making it more of a, hey, let's build the team out, have everybody operating in the places where they're best fit. And so 2020 came around, and I was just an attendee at last year's RoofCon. It's a crazy story, and I'll share a little bit about that. But 2020, 800 and some odd people, like
Yep.
close to 900 people, which is tremendous growth already. And that's why I give them such credit. I mean, I tell them all the time, it was just an amazing accomplishment from that alone. And then to come into a place where literally, an informal handshake, and I know I said this with you before, but an informal handshake with Hunter Ballou. And what that has led to now is you are literally, that's a perfect example of what Ed Milet said the other night, which is that you are one handshake, one decision away,
One relationship
away from changing the entire trajectory of your life.
Yep.
And that could not be any more applicable to me. And so I went to that conference just looking to continue to network and continue to meet people like you and all that sort of stuff, because I've seen folks from the scene when you're an attendee, and I'm appreciative of the opportunity that I have here because I get to be more close, just because we have the opportunity to work together on the side of what we operate. But as a contractor, you don't necessarily you shake your hand, whatever, but you don't get to build that personal relationship. So I came there to just start networking and continue to get ingrained in the industry because I have the corporate background. And when I went to that event, it was one handshake informally at the very beginning. Just kind of continued to see him throughout the course of that process. And whenever we got to the end of it, it was, hey man, how you feel about this? Where you at? How Hunter is. He's like, he's moving fast. And it was 7 days after I was at the conference, I was in South Carolina.
That's so cool.
And then after that, I was there for a week. Brought my wife and newborn baby out at the time, and we went obviously got sold on the vision, because that's what I am. That's who I am too. The core values I live by, and then we roll into this year, man. I mean, not even a year have I known Hunter Ballou. It's crazy, because RoofCon last year was October 15th and 16th, I think it was.
Right.
And we're at the beginning of October now, and I did not even know him at that time. And to see where it went from last year's accomplishments to building out the team to me moving 1,000 miles across the country. I know I said it earlier with, when we were talking about like getting folks like Jake and Austin and Cal and some of these guys that were helping me behind the scenes with my existing roofing company that I had that I was trying to get out of, right? Or at least figure out what I wanted to do with it, and been having to transition to this space, move 1,000 miles, all those sorts of things. It's been a crazy year. 2021 now, we got almost, we got 3,000 essentially,
So
like 29
cool,
something, and to see it all come to fruition is a beautiful thing. And I've been so privileged to be a part of the process. So.
And we share that same excitement for it. Like for us, this is the first, for me, it was actually the first roofing conference that I went to, was RoofCon.
That's super cool, man.
And it was the first time that we did something like this was RoofCon. We did it next to the pool at the Opryland in Opry.
Hey, I've been there, so it's that little big courtyard corridor.
Yeah, there's like a courtyard corridor that we had to set up. Like we just commandeered this area and just like set up lights and stuff and just started interviewing
That's
like
funny.
Paul Reed and Sam Struthers and
That's funny, man.
Joseph Hughes and whoever would basically come sit with us, Phil Sanoff.
Yeah.
And we're just like, what's up, guys? Like, I don't know what we're doing, but we're going to talk for a while.
ACS, baby, let's
Yeah,
go.
well, it was Art of the Supplement.
Yeah,
then.
it was
Yeah.
then. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it was
yeah.
kind of like
Yep.
it started the whole podcast thing for us and started doing video work and all the different things.
Yeah.
And so obviously RoofCon's always going to hold a special place in our hearts. And to see it go so far, it's been so awesome. But not just that, though, but to maintain the vision and the original concept behind it. Like I met Hunter before RoofCon, the first RoofCon, at a Ruby Tuesdays in Atlanta, after one of my events, Art of the Supplement events, years ago.
That's upscale dining for
It was
him.
very upscale for Hunter. It was not Waffle House.
It was not Waffle House.
It was not Waffle
nor
House.
Texas Roadhouse.
No, it was. I kind
Was
of
it?
prefer. No, it was not. It was Ruby Tuesday. And so, but to see, like, he told me his vision, told me what he wanted to do. I said, that's super cool because I up until then, like, the things that I knew about conferences, the things that I had heard, everything that I understood about what these events were, it was basically a Coke and stripper fest and something that I was like, why does everything have to be associated with the negative side of the industry? Why isn't there a better option? And Hunter had that same vision and the same idea, and that's when RoofCon came to fruition. But to see it go now on its third year, almost 3,000 people here, same focus, same mission, same concept, and the caliber of contractor that is here is so different.
Yeah.
And the ones that come to multiple events, because we see, different people, different events,
Yeah.
they have that same vision and that same alignment too.
Yeah, I mean, and I've said this a million times over, that the contractor that we attract we want that to be the consistent pulse, right? That of this conference moving forward is that it never, whether we're 60 people or 10,000 people, we want the same type of high integrity person with that's focused on leaning in with more personal growth conversation and how do I get better and how do I, everybody's got different plans for their business, but as an individual, you can hone in on all the things. Everyone's trying to get better in their personal life journey, in their growth, and so that
you become what you experience.
Absolutely,
and what you surround yourself with,
and you are a direct reflection. People, I think, more than anything, what I've learned over the last probably like 5 or 6 years now is that side of it is a direct mirror of what you will reap out of your business.
Right.
If you have extreme success without that, it will come to catch you if you don't have that side of it. So that's what's really unique here, and that's what for us is never going to change. It's so, not in a bad way, but like our sponsors are great. Obviously giving them a huge shout out to even making this thing happen, because we had 50 last year, we're at 127 I think this year or something like that. Incredible growth there too, and even in that department, we are so picky on who comes in. Obviously, like, we don't want to turn away money. Like, nobody wants to do that. But at the same time, like, if we know you don't align, that's not going to work for us, because we're trying to, as a team, Hunter and I, we've said this, we're not going to be here forever. I mean, we will always give back, but it becomes a capacity point, and it also, Hunter's got, you know him very well. He wants to move fast, and he'll hit 3 years, he's good, cool, and then he wants to move on to the next thing, kind of thing, because that's how his life is. He wants to excel in a lot of different verticals and a lot of different avenues, and I, along with him, would like to think that I'm not going to be here for 20 years. So for me, it's a matter of how ingrained that those core values are into the organization, and it really starts with us. And then after that, it's a matter of holding up to that, making sure that everybody is on the same page there, because that's going to be a direct reflection of what happens here. And it's not about us; it's about the people that are at this event. But it's certainly it's got to remain the same, and it will remain the same. So
you're ultimately like the integrator for Hunter, for RoofCon, right?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what that means and what that role entails.
Yeah, so I mean, in really roofing.com as a whole, so all things we have, we have RoofCon, we have Roof Crews, we have Revolt, we have our marketplace that we just launched. We've got a couple of key acquisitions that just went through, and for me as an integrator, I definitely lean more. If it's a continuum, you're visionary, far left, whatever, far right, whatever. Yeah. And the integrators on the opposite. I'm certainly more of a lot of both. But I'm stronger in like, hey, if it to me, I need to be really, really good at two things, and that is to be the ultimate problem solver and orchestrator of talent and people, personnel in the business. I'm not a behind the computer integrator. Everybody kind of gets this perception that like integrators are these like nerdy, hey, I want to talk about all the details, I want to do all that sort of stuff. And that could be true at times, but for me, I'm not in a position where that's the type of individual I am. I'm the type of individual, I want to empower my team. I want to make sure that the team understands how much I love, care, and appreciate their presence and what they do in sacrificing for what the mission and the vision is for the business, right? And so for me, it's about rallying that and making sure that we have those processes that we talk about, is like the integrator processes, are put in place, but that then I am basically letting people that are better than me at what they do what they do.
Right.
And it's
facilitating people to do everything they're supposed to do.
Yeah. So I'm not the type of integrator.
Well,
no, not at all.
I think a lot of owners overlook how important that position is to have in their company.
Yeah, because you move so fast, and especially with a company like us, I mean, we're moving so fast all the time. If you don't, people are your profit. People are your reason for why you do what you do. I was on the leadership panel yesterday, and when you're in that room and obviously surrounded by incredible guys that have done millions and millions of dollars in the roofing space, and I don't have that background. My background is just bringing the corporate structure and working for Fortune 500 and, Lorene Powell Jobs as our board of advisors and stuff like that, like big companies, and I learned a lot from that, but I don't have the roofing background. But all those guys, the reason why they built what they built is because they've either got a strong counterpart or someone in that team that is focused on that element of making sure that people understand that they are the reason that it's been so successful. And I don't say it again for just like good saving face, like on camera. Those individuals are what make it happen, not me. And that's how I know that position is extremely valuable, but it's valuable because if you don't have that connection, your business will not thrive.
Key takeaway, contractors. Find a Connor. If you're a visionary contractor who's trying to grow a business and grow it fast, find a guy like Connor to help you out, because that's really what is necessary in order to grow.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I think the one thing to wrap up that conversation or that piece of the segment is communicating. If you're a visionary, communicate with your integrator. Like if you have not to communicate with anyone else, communicate with him or her, because that connection and that chemistry, if it's done right, it explodes the business, because you have someone that's solely focused on the growth opportunities, like Hunter, like he's focused on acquisition opportunities. He's focused on other growth opportunities. And for me, it's not that I don't love to know about that and love to be involved with that. And we've certainly taken a flight with, I'm sure you know how Hunter, a flight with an hour's notice, and we hop on it. We travel all the way to the other side of the United States. But for me, I'm very much, I have to be here. Because this foundation has to be built right, and then once it's built right, and then the people that are in place that are obviously, and like I've already mentioned, better in every way of their specific capacity than I am in their role, then that's when we start. Then I go there with him, right? But he's got to be out there to continue to drive that, because that's what he's best at. And I love meeting people. I love you, and I love everybody that's here that we get to meet, but I'm not I have to be worried about execution. You know what I mean? So that's the big thing.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And it's so important, and you've done such a great job of
Appreciate
it. So
that,
thank you so much, and your leadership is evident. I mean, Michaela, all your team, they've done such a great job. But I'm sure that it required a lot of leadership and a lot of moving pieces and just making things happen. And that's awesome, dude. And I'm so happy for you and thankful that you're a part of this. Let's talk about RoofCon for a second, the event itself. So this event is so different, and I want to publicly state, like, based on what other people have said, based on what feedback we've gotten, not just that, but based on what we've felt here at RoofCon, it's different. And it's people keep coming up, man, this is such a breath of fresh air. This has been awesome. I'm hearing from guys like Ed Milet talking about faith and his family and all the things. The meet and greet was amazing.
Dude,
he got deep. Ooh, son. Yeah.
If you weren't in that room, I'm sorry. I don't want to give you big FOMO right now.
Man,
that was a once in a lifetime opportunity.
That was unreal,
to be
dude.
in that position.
I learned so much from him. And then you got, Craig Groeschel at this event. No one's bringing Craig Groeschel to a roofing conference, bro.
Yeah,
we were fortunate. We had Baylor Wilson here singing. We were trying to reach people on a level that's totally different, where it's not just business and money and profits and trying to figure out how to get the best deals and stuff. No. This is about, obviously, business and networking is important, but it's also about family and being a better person and faith and all the things that make people who they are and bettering their lives. And that's so refreshing. What's the plans as far as keeping that at the center?
I mean, at the center, again, the team, it starts with us to ensure that never changes, right? But outside of that, there's never going to be, at least for what we can control for following. I can't control when someone's on stage. But I promise you, the pitch element, the feeling like you're obligated to you pay for the ticket, but Bo, you're going to be coming through with another $5,000 for something that you don't know, because you just feel obligated. Like
crazy training system or something insane.
This is value focus. There is no other reason that we're doing this than to provide value. And I think the growth pattern of the organization and the conference itself speaks to that. People are going to attract themselves to something where it's like, hey, I'd love to go there and actually learn and actually get value from somebody that's done it over and over and over again, times 10x from where I've been personally. But then to collapse time and to be able to be in a position where you can get that information here and not feel like you're being pitched at nonstop, a product, a service, or whatever. That will never change, because it has to be value focused for us to get fulfillment, because we're not doing this. We're not doing it for the dollar. No.
It's about bettering the industry.
Yep.
And I'm 100% on board with you. That's our mission. That's what we want to see happen, and that's why we exist. We don't exist to. This isn't like a big giant moneymaker for us. This is a way to help people. And I appreciate that so much about RoofCon. That's why we're going to continue to be aligned, and to the extent that I'm going to tell you guys, you're hearing it from me right now, personally on the show right now. But you're not going to see ACS at many other events moving forward. And it's not that we don't, there's going to be certain events we are going to go to that, we feel aligned with the mission of ACS, but there's some events that we're clearly are just going to completely disconnect ourselves from. And that's because that doesn't fit it doesn't fit who we are. It doesn't fit our mission. It doesn't fit what we believe is going to better the industry. And we want to be that positive change. And that's a big thing for us too. And so we're very active on being more selective on events that we want to be a part of and who we want to support and what we want to support. And I believe that RoofCon is going to be one of those things that we're going to be aligned with for many years to come, because I feel like it's a very real alignment.
Yeah, I love that, man. Yeah, and I you don't need, again, I've said it before, like, edification to you, like, that you've done so much for the industry too, and appreciate you saying that, because you're obviously an authentic guy.
Well,
Love being around you. We've been in cabins together, and we've been
had
like
fun, bro.
we've had some fun.
We've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've had good times, and just so the people of your show know that, I mean, you're just as what you get on camera as what you are in real life. You know what I mean? So kudos to you for that, and for me, it's like I just want to, honestly, man, like, I want everybody to win. You know what I mean?
agree,
That's
man.
that's the deal.
I
Like,
want people to do well.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah,
I totally
yeah,
agree
yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
And there's such a hunger for that right
Yep.
now. Like
Yep.
there's such a hunger for something more than just a normal roofing conference. Like
Yep.
if I'm going to invest my time, I want to come away from that as a better
Yep.
business person, but as also just a better person. Like I want to feel like, man, I really like walked away with something cool.
yeah.
And that's a very real desire, and I believe everybody's life, and that's going to make a huge difference moving forward as you guys continue to grow this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's evident. Like,
yeah.
look at how many people are here. There's almost 3,000 people here
Yeah.
on year 3.
Yeah.
That's insane, bro. Like, that's unheard of in the event space.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show. I mean, you had almost 1,000 people last year during COVID.
Yep.
And it was in October, which there was like, or September, right? It was like,
It was, yeah, at the peak.
It
of
was, like, at the peak,
It was
like-
because it was like, hey, do the mask or
Yeah.
stay inside, quarantine, whatever, and none of that worked. And it was like, all right, we're gonna go back into
and
quarantine,
there,
whatever it was.
and there
yeah.
was still people all over that
Oh,
place.
yeah.
It was
Oh,
wild,
yeah.
dude. Everyone was like, there was so much real concern about the event happening, about going. Like, people were like nervous that it wasn't gonna even happen, and you guys pulled it off and had a
Yeah.
great turnout.
Yeah.
So I was really happy for that, and I think
Yeah.
it's really great to see it. So next year, any cool announcements? Anything cool happening?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, bigger and better. We always say that, and I know that it's been we've felt extreme success out of this year. It's always fun to celebrate as a team. We're gonna take some time off after we get done with this, and after the dust settles, because it's a crazy time. But yeah, celebration to them. Because when they're here, I'm sorry, I'll answer your question. I just want to say one last thing around that is like celebrating them, because really at the end of the day, we're here for you and here for for the contractor, and for me, I want they deserve to be in a position where they have that acknowledgement, because they sacrifice a lot while they're
Right.
here, and so we're gonna take some time off, but after that. We're going to start planning it up for next year, getting things rolling right back into it. And bigger and better were our numbers next year. We want to get 5,000 people there next
Awesome,
year.
dude.
Our number has been like 200, 250. I don't remember the exact number on sponsors, but we went from 50 to 125. I think Hunter wants to do like 250 next year or something. So hopefully y'all have some folks out there that are interested in coming to RoofCon. But yeah, big news. We're probably going to move it a little bit further back than we had it this year, and even last year, move it back towards like the beginning of November.
Yeah, all those hurricane guys,
just hurricane,
man.
and it's obviously you can't expect things are going to happen, but at least getting a little bit further out of the storm season won't interfere with any of the holidays or anything. But yeah, we're going to do that, and then we have the space locked down here.
Cool. So it's going to come back to Orlando.
Well, not necessarily. What we're doing is it's kind of monopolized the space, if you will. I told somebody this the other day. It's like everybody knows that people want to have conferences in Florida, so now Florida's just like freaking shooting out of the roof because of mask mandates and all that stuff. So, are not existent here. So we're so we're here. We have a space here.
There's another state that's really cool too, though.
What's that?
Indiana.
Uh-huh.
Come on now, right?
So anyway, yeah. So
there's a very good downtown there that has a lot of great convention centers that are very large.
Indianapolis.
It's a convention town. That's really what Indianapolis is.
That's cool. Yeah.
So right, am I right? Indy Roof.
That and that 500 race, baby. That Indy
Wait, there's a
500
race
there? Yeah. Or the Brickyard, one of the two. But so no, and then we're trying to find it again here. We've had conversations about going to other places though, for sure. But we if anything, worst case scenario, we'd be here again next year.
I love it, dude.
But but we'll be in a bigger space. Even
awesome, man.
So it'll be fun to see how that.
Well,
plays
congratulations,
out,
dude. So
yeah,
we have
thank you.
questions. I think we had a question, right? in the audience?
So.
I don't know.
What question? Anybody
Any
have questions?
Okay, never mind then. I thought we
I
did.
guess no.
Okay, cool.
Someone's going to grab them.
Well, dude, I really appreciate you, Connor.
Appreciate it,
I'm
brother.
excited about the future. Thank you so much, brother.
man.
Love you. I think
Thanks.
highly of you and your family and Hunter
Appreciate it.
and everyone at the team.
Appreciate it.
So thank you so much for making this a reality. Count on ACS to be there next year.
Sweet,
We'll
man.
be there. So
Love to see you there.
excited, bro.
All right, man.
We'll see you guys next year at RoofCon. Make sure to get out, find your tickets, go to roofing.com.
Roofing.com.
That's such a great website.
Easy, I mean,
Roofing.com. Learn more about it.
super easy.
Learn
to
more
get,
about
you know what I mean?
Revolt, Roof Cruise, all the things you
Yeah,
guys are doing.
yeah.
There's some awesome events coming up.
Yeah.
You want to get involved with this group of people right here because I believe that their intentions are right, what they're doing is right, and at the end of the day, if it's good for the industry, we want to tell you about it. So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy it. We'll see you guys.
Appreciate it.